We're just Graeme speaking to Kenny there about his recovery and the frustration that he's had to go through the last couple of months. In terms of his on-field experience, how frustrating is it for you that you've not had him, and how welcome is it that you've got him back now?
When you see him just giving of his knowledge to the younger players, to giving of his experience, you can't really put a measure on it, that you have someone like that who's been and seen everything at this football club and internationally. So he sees different patterns really quickly, he sees spaces really quickly, and he imparts that knowledge to younger players really, really well. So having him back in the group adds to our training, adds to their understanding, adds to their development, which has to help me as a manager.
Is he fit enough to start the game if you were to choose it?
I think Kenny would tell me yes.
Bruno Alves, is he in selection for Sunday?
Bruno's taking part in training today. He's taking a full part in training today. I think it's too soon for him to be involved from the start, from the game. But having him back and Kenny back obviously bolsters our options and makes the squad stronger. So from our medical point of view, I think they've done a fantastic job in getting those guys back, because they both suffered significant injuries. So to get them back and actually to give us a structured plan and timescale for them guys getting back has been really beneficial to myself.
How about Lee Wallace, Graeme Dorrans? Are they?
Graeme is perfectly on schedule. He's running on the altered G at the moment, so he's progressing really well. Lee is outside and potentially could take part in training tomorrow,
but not for Sunday.
No, he's been out for a significant period. You have to. What we have to do is give him a training volume and a training load that would help him become robust enough to stand up to the rigours of the game. Obviously, we want all of our players back. We want all of our players to have an opportunity to play. But the last thing I'm going to do is put a player at risk.
Are you anticipating a physical encounter at Somerset?
I'm anticipating a real challenge. I'm anticipating a team that are full of confidence and score loads of goals. And I'm anticipating a fantastic atmosphere. So it's a real old-fashioned cup tie with a massive challenge for us to make sure that we don't become, again, the story of the round by going out to a lower league opposition, because those guys are going to be giving it absolutely everything they have, and rightly so, because we're a big scalp. We know that, we understand that comes with pressure. But to play for this football club, you have to deal with that pressure and still go out and execute. So if we can do that whilst being respectful to what they're going to bring to the game, we have a good opportunity to go and get a positive result.
You spoke after the game, Graeme, against Partick, about speaking to Josh Windass about the gesture. Can you tell us what became of that?
I've spoken to him. Josh is aware of his responsibility, both as a professional athlete and as a player for Rangers, that he has a responsibility to conduct himself in a certain manner and comport himself in a certain way. And he's understanding of that fact. And Josh is a very, very off-the-cuff kind of guy. Very much plays in the moment. And I think you saw an outpouring of frustration with his own game at times. And it's something he needs to manage better. But he needs to understand, and he does understand, that he needs to channel that frustration in a more positive way. Because if he had, we'd be sitting here talking about a fantastic goal. 11, 12 seconds of quality, high-tempo football with elements in it that were really, really pleasing. And instead, we're having a talk once again about a reaction that could have been completely and wholly different. And once Josh recognises that fact, then I'm sure his development as a person as well as a footballer would have moved forward.
Did he apologise for the gesture?
He did. Yep. And once again, this is not something he's thought deeply about. There's no underlying meaning. It's just something that's just off the cuff and of the moment. And it's gone from his psyche, but obviously he understands that in the future he needs to channel what he's feeling into a positive way, both for himself, for the club, and for the fans.
Do you feel he's getting unfair criticism?
Regardless of if it's unfair or not, he's getting criticised. He has to deal with it, but it's a reaction to his actions. Take ownership of it. He has to own what he did and acknowledge what he did and learn from it and move forward. And I'm confident that the young man that he is can do that, and we will help him in that regard. But he has to understand, obviously, that his energies would be better served putting it into his football and actually celebrating the fact that we scored a wonderful goal.
Are you concerned about any reaction from supporters at the weekend to him because of it?
No, Josh has got broad shoulders, and development's painful. Learning is painful at times. Sometimes you have to make a mistake and suffer the consequences of it to actually grow as a person. If he does that and he grows from the current player that he is he could grow into some athlete and some player. But we have to support him in that, and we have to support him when he makes mistakes. We support him when he gives the ball away with a random decision, as he does at times. But we also support him in his growth, and he has to grow through this and accept whatever comes his way and move forward, and I'm sure that he can.
Is that a big challenge for you as a manager when you see the potential he's got, but there's a frustrating side as well?
Yeah, because there's no doubt that he can execute at a very high level. But we need to understand Josh as the individual rather than Josh as the footballer, because every individual has strengths and areas for development, and one of Josh's areas for development is his decision making, both on the ball and off the ball. He made a poor decision off the ball after scoring a goal. We have to help him get better at that. So it's my job, my task, and my staff's task to help Josh with that. And Josh needs to understand that to get to that next stage, that next level, he needs to improve in that regard, because if he does, he could be on an even bigger stage than the one he has currently, where everything is examined even more closely than he's being examined right now.
In terms of the Scottish Cup, how much would success in this competition do for you and going a long way for you having this job in the longer term?
I've talked about this previously. I think it would be incredibly selfish and arrogant of me to think about my job at the end of the year. My job is wholly to get this football club moving forward and competing for cups and for leagues. And if I can move us closer by what I do on a daily basis, then my job will take care of itself. But I've got a squad and a club and a fan base that are desperate for success. So for me to walk into this game thinking solely about me is inappropriate, not something I would do. I'm thinking about making sure my team are ready to go and meet the challenge, whatever game we play. And this is another game that we have an opportunity to show what we're about as a squad, but also as a club in what we want to do and where we want to get to.
Walter Smith appears to have turned down the Scotland job. You spoke a couple of weeks ago in favour of him possibly returning. What's your sort of thoughts on that development?
If Walter has taken that decision, I respect his decision completely, and I will also give my full backing to whoever the SFA do appoint. I do think that whoever they appoint has a massive challenge on his hands to go and help us be competitive and get to a tournament. But I'm just really, really grateful that the ultimate decision doesn't come down to me.
Kenny said the same, I think.
Yeah.
Looking forward to Sunday. How important do you think the Scottish Cup is for Rangers this season?
Well, it's the fans have been through a great deal at this football club recently, and the squad that deliver the first trophy to them will see a massive outpouring of emotion, and we have to understand that. We have to be fully cognizant of that fact, and we have an opportunity, because we think that on any given day we're a match, or more than a match, for the teams in this country. But what we have to do is give ourselves the opportunity to be successful. That means we have to plan it, we have to prep it, we have to show an exemplary attitude, and if we do that, then we have an opportunity. But we have to be in the next round. We have to be in the next round and go and win the next game. If we have that attitude and we work extremely hard, then, as I've said, we have an opportunity to deliver a cup. If not, then we have to wait another year, and that gives someone else an opportunity. But we want to be pushing and challenging at the very, very highest level, because I think our fans have suffered enough.